Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life. I am taping this ahead of time because there's a Category 3 storm brewing out in the Gulf. There's also about 10 inches of rain that are coming tomorrow, so who knows what will happen around here. And I don't want to drop, these videos like I had to do when we got the direct hit from the hurricane. If I can get ahead, I'll have a little wiggle room. So that's why I'm doing it early. And it's a very cloudy night here, very hot, very humid. And so what's new, right? So this is the AA word of the day. And the word for today is daily inventory for October 8th, 2024. And the quote is a short one. And when we were wrong, WWW, three W's in that beginning each word in that sentence. So promptly admitted it. I was beginning to approach my new life of sobriety with unaccustomed enthusiasm. New friends were cropping up, and some of my battered friendships had begun to be repaired. Life was exciting, and I even began to enjoy my work, becoming so bold as to issue a report on the lack of proper care for some of our clients. One day, a coworker informed me that my boss was really sore because a complaint submitted over his head had caused him much discomfort at the hands of his superiors. I knew that my report had created the problem and began to feel responsible for my boss's difficulty. In discussing the affair, my coworker tried to reassure me that an apology was not necessary, but I soon became convinced that I had to do something, regardless of how it might turn out. When I approached my boss and owned up to my hand in his difficulties, he was surprised. But unexpected things came out of the encounter, and my boss and I were able to agree to interact more directly and effectively in the future. The key here is do it quickly. Don't put it on the bottom of a to-do list. That's once I change my way of thinking, I'm always pushing that. Put it to the top of the list. Get it done, get it out of the way, and then it's finished. Uh, I can tell you, I had an episode almost like this when I was working for the bank. There was a crazy times. I don't know if it was just in the administration of President Carter or President Reagan, where the interest rates were like 19% on CDs. And there was a line at the bank that I worked at, and this was the headquarters. I worked in the computer room, and it started to form like at 7 o'clock in the morning. I worked third shift, 11 to 7, and I get off the elevator going home, and there'd be people waiting to cash in their savings into CDs. So I just wrote a letter to management, the head of the bank, and I told them that there were plenty of chairs, all not chairs, but like sofas, all over the place, and these people were standing up from 7 o'clock till the bank opened. And wouldn't it be nice if we put them there and they could sit and not be so stressed out just trying to get a CD? Well, this didn't cause any distress, believe me. I won an award, the suggestion of the year. I won $15,000, and I got to eat in the executive dining room up on the 28th floor of this bank overlooking the city of Providence. So uh, I didn't do it for the money. I didn't even know I'd get anything. But they love the idea. They put them out there, and it's a permanent fixture all the time that the bank was there. But The man in this story, he figured I better straighten this out now, and get, and it worked out good for him. They came up with a plan, and that often happens. I've seen that in business. Uh, Come up with a plan, and it's good for the customers. It's good for the business. It takes the stress off the customers and the stress off of people. There's nothing worse than unhappy customers and having to answer. And even though I worked third shift, and even though I was away from everybody underground in a computer room, I'd get that call at night when an ATM went down for whatever reason. Why can't, if they ran out of money, there was absolutely nothing I could do. I had nothing to do with that. And I'd have to determine, why the ATM went down. And one day when I was up in Boston, really overworked, the head of the bank's wife went to use an ATM and it was down. And it was caused by a flood in Chicago, taking out a modem. And it was just like a daisy chain of events, the way they had the network hooked up. And, well, I'll tell you, I caught a lot of abuse that day. But what are you going to do? So I think that this, at least for me, what I get out of this is the word promptly. Don't delay, take care of it, and you'll be okay, or it won't be as bad as if you don't take care of it. Sometimes the end isn't that great, but it's better if you do it now than if it festers and becomes more than it ever was. I've seen that happen too. I've seen problems get so large when if they were addressed right at the beginning, you know, it wouldn't be so bad. So I hope you all have a good Tuesday. Subscribe if you like these, hit like, and pray for us that we don't have a really disastrous storm here because the ground is so wet. There was Hurricane Idalia and two other hurricanes, and the poor people right up the road are so flooded. Everything's ruined. Their couches and beds and mattresses are all out on the street, and everybody around here needs help. They need it all the way up to West Virginia. That was a powerful storm, a very powerful storm. And I guess we don't ever want to see the likes of Helene again. So God bless, stay safe, and stay sober.